The Egyptians once said, "The sun is pure life itself. It nourishes us with its light." In fact, this phrase is the gateway to a great secret hidden in all ancient stories. The sun's life-giving power is the same divine spark that gives humans the power to shape the world's destiny. Therefore, many religious stories are essentially symbolic teachings, a veil that conceals the true meaning. Ancient writers never said anything directly, because the truth was too powerful for anyone to bear. They concealed this knowledge with symbols, metaphors, and stories. If you don't know how to read the symbols, life always seems full of contradictions, because you never notice the unseen side. There is a text that has remained hidden for centuries, preventing humanity from acquiring it: the Corpus Hermeticum. One of history's most powerful families, upon obtaining this manuscript, abandoned all wars, treaties, and other endeavors, and immediately had it translated. No one could explain how their wealth had doubled in such a short time, but there was no need. The secret was out. Newton, Tesla, Young, they all studied this text in secret, because it contained a claim that modern science has only now been able to verify: consciousness shapes matter. But most people distribute this power without even realizing it. Thoughts scatter like garbled signals. Emotions spread randomly. Then we wonder why life is so complex. Yet the world's richest, leaders, and tech giants know how to consciously direct energy. That's why everything appears as coincidence or luck. A single sentence in the book's secret section has been hidden in various ways for nearly 2,000 years. It has been softened and softened in published versions. But the true sentence was far more powerful. The essence within us is of the same nature as the power that creates everything. To know this is to change the course of the world. This is not a metaphor. It is a prescription. It is a technique. If you know how to distribute your energy, external circumstances can no longer control you. You create them. People who understand this are no longer ordinary spectators of their lives, but architects of reality. Temples have encoded this knowledge in symbols for centuries, because the human mind doesn't just generate thoughts, it weaves them into the very fabric of the world. Your emotions aren't confined to your body. Each one radiates into an invisible field and returns at the same frequency. Therefore, what you call coincidence is actually an echo of the signal you emit. Everyone is unconsciously in touch with this field. The difference lies in whether you disperse your energy. While most people radiate their energy like a broken light, others transform it into a sharp, focused beam. This is where the power lies. When you learn to harmonize your inner frequency with the outside world, even your breathing becomes a creative act. It's no coincidence that people focus on you when you walk into a room. It's no coincidence that solutions emerge spontaneously in difficult moments. This is the mastery of energy. The most profound assertion of the Corpus Hermeticum is this: the mind has no boundaries. The spark within us is the same current that moves the universe. Therefore, every thought you harbor with belief, every image you consciously choose, is not just a dream. It is a command. And when that command aligns with the frequency of the universe, reality must respond, because you are no longer just a feeler, but a broadcaster. Aligning with the rhythm of the source, that's where the real fear lies. Because when one realizes this harmony, all the structures built upon them visible and invisible, lose their power. Control is no longer external, but within one's own inner space. Systems are giant batteries powered by people's energy. This is their operating principle. If enough people stop flowing this current, these giant structures turn into piles of metal. That's why the expressions in ancient texts have been watered down. Dangerous phrases have been transformed into metaphors and rendered harmless. As above, so below has thus been presented as merely a pleasant saying. But this saying isn't a poem. It's the description of a mechanism. Understanding and applying it moves the world. It makes one aware of the levers at one's disposal. That's precisely why it has remained in the shadows for centuries. Knowing, but not in the sense of words repeated in the mind. Knowing is the experience of direct contact. Nothing changes until you feel the current flowing outward from within you. And it's not wanting, desiring, or hoping. It is a sharp, undistorted intent. In the Hermetic tradition, knowing and willing are considered the two poles of creation. One without the other is blind. When the two coexist, intervention in reality begins. This is what the ancient masters called the royal art, skillfully interacting with the shaping power of consciousness. Consider the raw marble before a sculptor. Marble is the raw energy of the universe. The image in the sculptor's mind is inner knowledge. The chisel and hammer in his hand are willpower. Every stroke makes the invisible visible. The resulting sculpture is not a coincidence, but a continuity of vision. Life is like that. Circumstances, opportunities, people, all of these are the marble. Your intention and inner order are the tools that shape the sculpture. One who learns mastery leaves no room for chance in their life. The ancient masters did not preserve knowledge so carefully out of greed. They knew that an untrained mind can create chaos as easily as beauty. A scattered mind sends conflicting signals to the field, and the field responds to them all. The result? A chaotic life. The elite know this. They conceal their situation like a warrior conceals his sword. Because anyone who wants to move the world must first clear their own field. Old emotions, thought patterns transmitted from others, repressed energies. These muddy the signal. Two different messages reach the field simultaneously: the message you desire and the message emitted by your subconscious. To move forward, you must learn to close the field and purify the energy. This is where the real work begins. Because everything is mind. Everything is a flow of energy. Your thoughts radiate out into the universe, shaping matter. This is not just a mystical metaphor. It is a fundamental pillar of Hermetic teaching. The universe is mental. Matter and energy are states of mind frozen in varying densities. That's why the saying, as above, so below, isn't just a cliche. When the order on the higher plane shifts, the world below also changes form. The field doesn't resist you, it simply reacts. The only question is, do you influence it, or is it influenced unconsciously? To understand this, think of a radio. It doesn't produce music. It simply tunes to a frequency. The mind is the same. Infinite possibilities are broadcast simultaneously within the field. Your emotions, beliefs, and habitual ways of thinking set the dial. And most of the time, it's not you who sets this dial, but your environment, your family, your culture, the media, your surroundings. All of them have determined your frequency even before you ask, "Who am I?" This is why Hermetic masters guard their minds like a fortress. The field doesn't distinguish between a chosen thought and an imposed thought. It picks up the strongest signal and projects it into your life. If that signal is fear, anger, despair, it's not hard to imagine what the resulting order would look like. When the Corpus Hermeticum declared, "All is mind," it wasn't just a slogan. It was describing the essence of the mechanism. The mind is energy. Every thought is a pulse. Every emotion a wave. These waves create a response in your body without physical contact, just as you might feel the tension in a room. The same mechanism applies when a cheerful person relaxes you for no apparent reason. While some see it as magic, masters see it as a natural process. If you want to change the world below, you must first create a new order above, in your inner order, your emotional world, your mindset. This requires two things: being aware of the signal you're emitting and not allowing it to be overshadowed by external factors. Because after a while, the space becomes crowded. Currents of fear, waves of anger, distracting vibrations. Some are coincidental, most are not. The problem isn't that the laws don't work, but that the signal you send is blurred before it reaches its destination. Therefore, before you can begin to shape reality with intention, you must close off your own space. First, cleansing, then creation. This isn't an option. It's the difference between being the architect of your own life and being an antenna through which others broadcast. And this is precisely where the ancient texts become truly practical. The part that modern summaries barely touch upon. The masters didn't just meditate and wait for the best. They practiced energy hygiene like a warrior sharpens his sword daily. Breathing exercises, mental commands, energy-gathering postures. These aren't superstitious rituals. They are maintenance, cleansing, and attunement. When the saying, "all is mind, all is energy," is truly understood, the reason for this maintenance becomes crystal clear. Because every thought and every emotion isn't just an internal feeling. It's the building block of creation. If your building blocks are scattered, dirty, or mixed, how can the resulting structure be balanced? That's why Hermes used the word law thousands of years ago. These aren't mechanisms driven by belief. They're systems that always work, whether you accept them or not. And what about the outcome? They fall into the hands of those who skillfully manipulate these systems. Even today, science confirms one by one what Hermes explained in the Corpus Hermeticum and the Emerald Tablet. Look around, and you'll see traces of this. Some people live as if they attract circumstances. Others struggle with life without understanding why. Let's unravel the difference together. The first law: everything is mind. Hermes said, "The universe floats in a sea called mind. Everything, even matter, begins with thought." When science says everything is energy today, it means the same thing. Energy follows order. Thought determines order. Therefore, the winner is the one who puts their mind to work before entering the game, whether it's a leader, an investor, or an artist. The one who clearly visualizes the desired outcome before entering the room creates a harmonious flow of energy, and the doors open. When that same person walks onto the stage, fearing loss, their voice trembles, their hands relax, their energy dissipates. Everyone in the room feels it, because energy always moves first, pausing to breathe before coming to a conclusion, carving a single clear image into their mind. It's the invisible chisel that shapes the invisible clay. Then comes the observer effect. The moment you truly see something, you've chosen one among many possibilities. If the artist hears applause before entering the stage, their body adjusts accordingly. The crowd responds. If the same artist rehearses fear, what they avoid becomes what they are on stage. The third principle, harmony. The saying, "as above, so below," is not metaphorical, but literal. Internal order determines external order. Therefore, someone who starts the day with anxiety will see events throughout the day that align with anxiety. Those who wake up seeking solutions attract solutions. The fourth principle, vibration. Nothing is static. Your emotional field emits a wave that touches other minds the moment you enter a room. Someone who maintains calm unknowingly organizes the room. Someone who is tense ignites chaos. Fifth principle, polarity. Every emotion is a double-edged sword. On the other side of fear lies excitement. On the other side lies frustration and determination. The master does not reject emotion. He transforms, and directs it. Sixth principle, rhythm. Everything has its ups and downs. Even the rhythm of breathing aligns the connection between mind and heart. Therefore, the impetuous loses authority. The one who directs the rhythm controls the pulse of the crowd. Cause and effect is a cycle. Hermes said, "This isn't just an ordinary observation. It's the way the universe works. Every thought leaves a mark. Every action generates a return." Today, science says the same thing. Whatever you put into the system returns to you with the same vibration. A person who achieves balance in their life plants small seeds in their mind every day. Consider an artist. They have a vision in their head, and they nurture it with small steps every day. They don't wait for inspiration. They create it themselves. Their success isn't a coincidence, but a matter of continuity. And then there are others, those who wait for the perfect moment to take action. Weeks go by, and nothing changes. Because if the same seed isn't planted, the same destiny won't grow. Energy control test. Before ending the night, decide which seed you want to plant tomorrow. Hold this thought in your heart. Keep this seed in mind as you do your breathing exercises. And when you wake up in the morning, act as if it has already sprouted. Hermes always told his students, when you apply these laws, there is no room for doubt. Because therein lies the difference, the chasm between those who shape reality and those who are caught up in it. Winners consciously live these principles every day. Losers, on the other hand, act haphazardly, unconsciously, and disrupt their own energy. Now you've seen both sides. So the question is simple. How will you act tomorrow? And once you've internalized these laws, the next step begins. Not to protect yourself, but to manage your space. Become the one who regulates the energy in every room you enter. Then knowledge truly becomes a world-moving force. The key to this is the method called the energy firewall. It's not a shield, it's a filter and a seal. It seals the cracks in your energy field, prevents foreign signals from seeping in, and ensures the vibration you emit remains pure. Once you learn this method, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Because most people live with an empty energy field without even realizing it. Then they try to understand why life seems chaotic. They set their intentions. They visualize. They repeat affirmations. But the results come one day and not the next. They think the problem is in their minds, when in reality, the real problem is the leakage within their own field. Think of your energy field as a luminous sphere surrounding you. This isn't just a symbolic image. Your body emits an electromagnetic field up to several meters away. Science has measured it. In Hermetic terms, this is your auric shield, the boundary between you and the field of creation. Ideally, this field is luminous, whole, and coherent. But for most people, small cracks develop due to stress, old wounds, environmental burdens, and distractions. And that's where the danger begins. Energy always flows through an open door. If there are gaps in your space, the fears, emotions, and thoughts of others can seep in without you even realizing it. At the same time, your intentions seep in, losing their purity and even weakening. The purpose of an energetic firewall is to close these doors. It's not to stop what comes from outside, but to ensure that the vibration you choose to hold within you remains pure. This is the cornerstone of all Hermetic work. Without it, every practice is at risk. Step 1. Grounding lock. Sit comfortably or stand upright. Close your eyes. Imagine energetic roots extending from the base of your spine deep into the earth. Let gravity gently pull you down. This isn't just an image. Your nervous system interprets this signal as a literal anchor. Step 2. Breath seal. Place your hands under your abdomen. As you breathe in slowly through your nose, imagine your body filling with a golden light. Pause for a moment. Then see this light radiating outward from your body, creating a luminous sphere around you. Each breath is both physical fuel and a command to your space. Once the sphere in your mind is clear, whisper a short phrase, either silently or aloud. In the Hermetic tradition, words are merely portals. It is the intention behind the word that unlocks true power. The phrase I use is simple. Only energies that align with my highest purpose can approach me. All other currents return to their source. As you say this, feel your surroundings falling into place like a shield. The next stage is the mirror layer. This is where the outer surface of your field becomes reflective. Imagine the sphere's surroundings as a surface that instantly repels anything discordant that touches it. This is not an attack. This is not a battle. It's simply a way of saying, I refuse to carry anything that is not mine. This layer alone keeps out most of the energetic turmoil that descends upon you. Then comes daily renewal. Energetic cleansing is not a one-time shower. Just like the body, it requires repeated care. Every morning, practice the same sequence: grounding, breath sealing, environmental command, mirror layer. If you feel tense, exhausted, or restless throughout the day, pause for a moment and quickly repeat this cycle. After a while, it becomes your natural state. The first thing you'll notice is small. You become less sensitive to the moods of others. An invisible distance forms around your field. Your intentions work more clearly. Then something bigger emerges: sovereignty. The field is yours. You control what comes in, what goes out, and how it flows. And here's a hidden bonus most people never know. When your field is sealed, the signals you send are crystal clear. The commands the universe receives are clearer, and its response is faster. That's why, in ancient schools, students weren't allowed to progress to advanced training until their field was completely sealed. Because you can't build a temple on a broken foundation. This is the foundational layer of the energy firewall. When you take your place, even currents that could overwhelm you can now carry you. This is where true art begins. You not only protect yourself, but also process the incoming energy and transform it into power. This is the secret of the masters. Transformation. Transforming darkness, heaviness, and chaos into fuel. The knowledge possessed by the elite, they don't avoid negative energy. They collect it. Criticism, conflict, obstacles, setbacks. They use it all as raw material. Hermetic alchemy is no longer about turning lead into gold. It's about transforming dense, heavy, and noisy energy into power that can be used for one's own purposes. The truth is, no one teaches you this. What you think of as negative energy is actually a raw current waiting to shed its shell. The Corpus Hermeticum clearly states, do not destroy the unwanted. Transform it. The universe does not know good or evil. It responds only to vibration. Think of a time when someone hurt you, criticized you, or belittled you. Remember the tightness in your chest, the tension in your mind. This is raw energy crashing into your field. Most people either take it in like poison or expel it back, increasing the chaos. Transformation is the third path. Receive it, clean it, release it as something completely different. The transformation of darkness into light is the mechanism. 1. Name it. Don't deny the energy. Call it anger, this fear, this restlessness. Naming it doesn't help you possess it. It helps you separate from it. 2. Bring it to your heart. Place your attention behind your breastbone. This isn't symbolic. The strongest electromagnetic field in your body emanates from here. Hold the incoming current neutrally here. 3. Fill with light. Inhale. Imagine drawing in infinite light from above and the power of the earth from below. Each breath passes through the dark current, changing its frequency. Love, clarity, courage, whatever vibration is needed. 4. Give it back as power. When the energy lightens, reflect it back into your own space with the next breath. It is no longer a weight, but a flow that serves. 5. Continue until it is neutralized. When you do this, if your body doesn't tighten when you think of that person or event, the transformation is complete. This creates 2 effects. The energy doesn't stick with you as impurity, and you transform it into a motivating force for your own path. Think of transforming an insult into a creative leap, or a financial worry into sharp clarity. This isn't positive thinking. It's like an energetic martial art. True masters don't retreat when challenged. They absorb the moment, process it, and then use that same energy to strengthen their own path. From the outside, it looks like confidence. What's actually happening is a disciplined transformation. And here's the deepest secret. The more you master this cycle, the less you fear bad events. You stop wasting energy trying to avoid things. The mind designs like an architect. Breath becomes the invisible line that carries the designed into the world. The body is the vehicle that carries this mind and flow. Hermetic teachings say that the external world is merely an echo of this inner trinity. This is why it is important. Thought is powerful, but prone to dissipation. Emotion is powerful, but like a wave. It rises, falls, and changes. Breath is the fundamental mechanism that unites these 2 elements within a single framework, a single signal. The field cannot ignore this coherent signal. Think of the mind as a light bulb. It stands alone. It cannot light without current. Breath is the hidden line that awakens that current, the power that completes that circuit. And the golden breath is the art of transforming this current into a conscious command. You are no longer simply breathing. You are breathing in form, intention, and creation. Stage 1. 0 point. Absolute silence is essential before beginning anything. Sit or stand upright. Allow your eyes to turn from outside to inside. Follow your breath without altering it. This moment of quiet observation declares that you have shifted from subconscious autopilot to conscious driving. In restrictive terms, awareness is the first touch that opens the door to creation. Stage 2. Invoking the golden stream. As you breathe in slowly through your nose, count to 4. As you do, feel a golden light filtering from the crown of your head, filling your mind. This light descends into your chest, spreads into your abdomen, and flows from there into your legs and feet. This is not a game of make-believe. In ancient consciousness, gold is considered the vibration of purified awareness. Stage 3. Instilling the will. At the peak of your breath, count to 4. During this pause, express your intention, not as a wish, but as an already realized reality. The statement should be positive and definitive. The opportunity aligned with my purpose is now before me. This is the moment when desire and knowledge merge. Stage 4. Projection. Exhale through your mouth to a count of 4. See the golden light radiating outward, overflowing from your skin and flowing into your space. Send it out into the room, the street, the entire city, as far as you wish. Each exhale is like a command etched into the fabric of reality. Stage 5. Locking. Pause for another 4 seconds at the end of the exhale. At this moment, say, "It is complete." It will not be completed. I hope it will not be completed. It is an energy seal. The pattern is etched into your field. Stage 6. 3 cycles. 1 cycle sets the intention, the second forms it, the third seals it. In Hermetic systems, 3 is the number of completion of creation, knowing, desiring, manifesting. When you practice this regularly, a subtle shift initially occurs. Your field becomes more sensitive, more responsive. Interesting coincidences arise. Obstacles soften a bit. And over time, the golden breath works like a lever in daily life. You stop hoping for reality to change and start observing how it does. That's why the elite appear incredibly calm in moments of decision. They align their inner worlds before taking action, because they know that any action taken with discordant energy is unnecessary noise. The breath is also the field's way of speaking to you. The subtle impulses that come after you give a command, the sudden emergence of ideas, the subtle adjustments in the environment. These are not mere coincidences. This channel is two-way. You speak to the breath, and the field responds. You feel the world being ordered. At this point, Hermetic practice begins to shift from theory to dialogue. At that point, you realize you are not separate from the universe. You are the same field, intensely moving. And again, someone will ask, is this just a placebo? Could it all be in my mind? Doubt is normal. But the old masters needed experience, not belief. Today, science picks up where it left off. Quantum physicists and neuroscientists now say, reality doesn't stand still. It changes with observation. It is shaped by the mind. The ancient temples used to say, everything is mind. Laboratories called this the observer effect. We know from the double-slit experiment, subatomic particles, when unobserved, resemble waves. When observed, they collapse into a single state. Observation, that is, consciousness, chooses the outcome. Hermetists said this centuries ago, but quantum entanglement shows that this connection knows no distance. If you change one particle, the state of its counterpart, miles away, changes simultaneously. I say this so you can better understand how your inner world is intertwined with the field. When you change your emotions, your thoughts, your breathing, the relationship between all the interconnected things also changes. Awareness. What is RA based on, and what does it choose? The prevailing thought patterns in your mind, the stories you sincerely believe in, and the things you observe from the future. Someone who always focuses on possibilities sees a world full of possibilities. But someone who follows the rules encounters only obstacles at every step. The most critical point is this: RA doesn't draw a boundary between reality and powerful imagination. Therefore, its effectiveness increases when visualization is combined with the resonance we call golden breath. You reprogram the subconscious filter to recognize a new reality. When RA is locked in this direction, your actions, the coincidences you encounter, and all the microsignals that capture your attention begin to align with your choices. All these mechanisms have come together: the quantum observation effect, electromagnetic coherence, psychological filter systems. The Hermetic Saints idea of those who know the world and will act is no longer metaphysical. It has been transformed into a measurable and modelable framework. You cannot change life by magic. You simply align your internal system with the fundamental mechanics of the external world. That's why the ancient masters didn't debate whether it worked. They practiced until results became visible. Throughout history, people have used these methods, but they've been given new names like impact training, mental training, and performance visualization. While the names may change, the basic principle remains the same. The problem is, most people mentally validate this information but never take a single step. They collect websites, share videos, but they don't acknowledge their own role in the process. You experience reality as if your essence created it. You continue to act as if you're reacting. However, once you understand the mechanism, there's only one option left: reclaim your self-authority. You're not the reader of your life stories. You're the author. This is more than just trying to make an impact in the world. Whatever you accept, whatever you change, the point is to make a fully conscious decision about what you decide to create. And the moment you do, you cease to be settled. You shift to a different level of existence in your reality. You join a group of people, small in number, but with great influence, possessing their own energy. This power is not your elite secret. On the contrary, it is your birthright. For centuries, this knowledge was hidden from the masses because if many people understood it, no power structure could survive for long. That's why the Hermetic laws of energy were kept in closed books, in temples. They were given only to those not at risk. Risk-free didn't mean safe. It meant manageable. The paradox is this: they used your birth power to build their own empire. Reinforce what you've learned so far: the knowing and willing mind, field resonance, the cycle of transformation, the golden breath, and the science that confirms it all. This is not a new trend. This is the original operating system of human reality. Every dynasty, every secret school, every government mechanism has implemented it in some way. They've shrouded it in mystery and mythological language. Don't realize you have the same power. But when you see the plan, you can't ignore it. Reality doesn't dictate whether you wear a crown or live paycheck to paycheck. The law is the same. The field, regardless of who it comes from, responds only to clarity and consistency. The only difference between the powerful and the rest is this: they believe they are the authors of their own lives. Others still think they are a personified entity in someone else's story. And now, we're changing that belief. Let's be clear. You are not a passive consumer of experience. You are not someone who simply reacts to what news, people, and chance throw at you. You are the beginning. You are the broadcaster. You are the creator. The first step is to claim your space. Every thought, every emotion, every breath is a signal. Now, saying, "I feel bad," means acknowledging that you are under the influence of a volatile, random force like the weather. This is no longer allowed. When you play Sahar, you choose your broadcast. You empower yourself with your breath. You protect yourself with your wounds. Instead of absorbing the energy of others, you create new transformations with your own power. The second step is to write your own story. RA is constantly searching for clues to your truth. If you don't tell your own story, it focuses on the highest signal in your environment. Therefore, powerful people communicate their essence through the symbols, words, and networks they choose. You can create this in your own environment too. Symbols, expressions, daily rituals. The moment you realize you're moving in the right direction, something in your inner world changes permanently. No interruption feels threatening anymore. The chaos of others can no longer infiltrate your space. Because when you become the director of your own energy, opportunities begin to emerge and clear your life paths. And when you reach this point, you experience a strange sensation. It's as if everything aligns so subtly that your field can broadcast so clearly for the first time. If you manage to maintain this power and close off your own field, true transformation begins. Because you're no longer someone who simply desires change. You're someone who directs it. When you use the energy key we call golden breath, you step into that long hidden playground. The only difference is that you do this not secretly, but completely consciously and freely. And when you begin to understand that all of this is your birthright, the path becomes a choice. You can keep this knowledge as a pleasant thought, or you can make it the cornerstone of your future life. But one thing remains constant. When you embrace your space, only one question remains. How do I write the first page of my reality? I want you to test this for yourself today. Not tomorrow, not tomorrow, not tomorrow, but now. Because there's a chasm between knowing and living. And you can only bridge that gap by taking action. Here's a small but effective exercise you can implement. Choose a micro goal. Not a big one, but a meaningful one. A pleasant conversation. A compliment that makes you smile. A small solution. Or something that reminds you that you're on the right path. Choose. Just choose consciously. Then close your space. Take a deep breath. Feel a golden light fill you. Imagine a sphere forming around you. This isn't fear. This is your remaining energy. Transform the obstacles you face. If voices like doubt, impatience, or "I wonder if it will work" arise, don't suppress them. Transform them into light. Pass them through your heart and purify them. And only release back into your field what transforms into trust. Practice the golden breath cycle. Inhale the golden light, hold it for a moment, and set the intention it's already happened. Then send it out into the field with your breath. This isn't begging, it's commanding. Throughout the day, act as if the outcome is coming. Be prepared. That conversation might be starting. That sign might be coming. That opportunity might be near. Because your energy is calling for whatever it's preparing for. Then let go. But be alert. Don't chase the outcome. That energy is wasted. Just stay open. The field will already be working. There might come a moment, a subtle feeling, perhaps even a very distinct one. You'll notice it. Then say thank you. Embrace it. And tell yourself, this is it. This isn't a test of whether the universe is working. This is a test of whether you're working as a broadcaster. Even if you do it successfully, you'll feel a door opening within you. You'll realize these aren't spiritual ornaments, but methods that work. These techniques have been used in closed spaces for a long time. Now you are applying them openly. The next step is to expand this process. Larger goals, more refined intentions, clearer broadcasts. Because Hermetic wisdom is not just a detail, a twist. Today, I want you to do something. Consciously move a thread in your reality. Do this when your energy is clear, your field is locked, and your intention is clear. And then be prepared to see the response that comes. This is the moment when you stop just hearing about Hermetic power and start living it. In the next section, we will uncover the hidden rituals and mysterious practices in texts that most people are unaware of. Because true power comes when you begin to direct not only your own life, but also the energy around you. And remember, most people will listen to this and do nothing. But you are not one of them. This is the first sign that you have regained control of your reality. If you are ready, let's continue.